Day. Hi, hello, morning. 6:22 a.m. Sunday, April 3rd, 2022. I've been awake all night. Woke up around 9 at night. It's been nice and quiet. So I've been thinking about birthdays. Why? Well, I have one coming up in about a week. Had a few of them at this point. I've had a few. And I still don't like it very much, to tell the truth. I don't like my birthday. I really don't. Birthdays, looking back on them as a child, as a teenager, full of disappointment and trauma. I've talked about it before. What, my 11th, 12th birthday? Had a sleepover with a handful of friends from school. And we were talking into the middle of the night, whispering, really. My parents' bedroom was at the far end of the hall, my sister's bedroom between mine and theirs. And it must have been 1 or 2 in the morning. My dad had, with increasing frustration and sternness and his impotent rage, tried to get us to go to bed, go to sleep, be quiet, because he had to work in the morning. And eventually around 2 a.m., burst open my door and picked me up by my throat, held me against the wall, and screamed at me about how loud we were being, how disrespectful I was being, how he had to work. And I laughed at him. I laughed at him because I had no respect for him. And I wasn't really afraid of him. He has never apologized for what happened. It's been 19, 20 years. Hasn't apologized. He hasn't spoken about it to me since. When he was in therapy with my mother before they divorced a few years ago, he adamantly denied that it even happened. No explanation, to my knowledge, was ever offered to the parents of my friends. Just complete denial. It wasn't the only time that my father and I fought, but it was my birthday. And I held a quiet, unyielding vengeful anger in my heart through 18, 19 about it. When I was 16 or 15 or 17, drunk on a bridge with my sister and my future brother-in-law, she, my older sister by 2 years, angrily asked why I wouldn't just forgive him, forgive my father, why I couldn't just love him. He wasn't sorry. Oh, he might be embarrassed or ashamed or dislike the way it makes him look or the way it makes him feel, but he wasn't sorry. That instance of violence was a very true representation of who he was and who he is. So I didn't have any birthday parties after that. Not at 13 or 14 or 15. No sweet 16, nothing at 17, nothing to celebrate 18 or 19 or 20, 21. At 21, I flew out to Arizona from upstate New York to visit some friends who were still living in Prescott. And they were happy to see me and threw a party. But as much as I had a good time, I was an excuse to drink, an excuse to party. It wasn't about or for me. And that's so often where I go to when I think about birthdays. Now, I share my birthday with a fairly good friend of mine. Growing up, he and I shared it with a couple of other people as well. And, we go out to the bar and drink together and say that we were celebrating our birthday, but really, if you look at the friend group, it was mostly their friends. Mostly their family. And me. I am, despite myself, I think, a fairly lonely person. And I don't mean that in a woe is me kind of way. Sometimes I do, but right now, not really. No, I didn't graduate high school and have a graduation party. People didn't give me a going away party for moving off to college or away from home. When I finally moved out of my parents' place for the last time, it was into a duplex in a not so great part of town because they were moving. And it was either stay where I knew people or follow my parents and their failing marriage to a city I'd never been. I didn't get a housewarming party. I've had people visit, certainly. I've had people be excited at how much I've moved or I've accomplished or the life that I've built for myself, but I'm not really around for it, you know? As I've been looking forward to April for the last month or so and thinking about growing up, hitting 30, thinking about, you know, these last few decades of my life, as much of it as I can remember, I've been thinking about, yeah, the trauma, you know, of childhood, like this story that I shared, the story that I'll often share when I'm talking about birthdays. But also kind of the trauma of neglect. That I was, you know, not well, emotionally, mentally. And as a kid, and even sometimes as an adult, I didn't need that, or I didn't know what help I needed. I didn't know what would make me more functional, happier, easier to be around. And so when my mom mostly would reach out and try to help and try to ask what I needed, I would just say, leave me alone. I just want to be left alone. Because I was hurt and I was scared and I didn't know what to do. So, you know, a part of me feels a sense of ownership of that neglect. A sense of, well, that's what you asked for, you know. But I asked for it, to be left alone, to be given space, so often because I was afraid to ask for anything out of a fear of being rejected and denied. I was around 12 or 13 when I stopped asking for expensive things for my birthday, for Christmas. I knew that we weren't financially well off, and my friends would get new PlayStation and Xbox, bunch of games. And I was ashamed to ask for anything. I was ashamed to ask for what I wanted because we couldn't afford it, or I felt like we couldn't afford it, and I felt like we couldn't afford me, you know. That my mom was trying as best as she could. My dad sure shit wasn't. Working as a fucking dead-end photographer for his entire adult life, no aspiration to make more, do more, despite having 2 young lives dependent on him, still being financially dependent to my mother. It's a terrible habit to pick up, not asking for what you want. Getting used to rejection before you even ask a question. Getting used to killing your wants and your dreams and your aspirations as soon as you have them. Just quietly snuff them out before they can really take off. You know, when I think about birthdays, that's what I think about. I don't think about presents and stupid cone hats and cake. Fuck, I don't even like cake. Not really. And I'm not talking about this and sharing this and whatever else to elicit pity or sympathy. Maybe I'm a very sad person. Maybe I've lived a sad life. Maybe it's depressing and I'm a wet fucking towel. Maybe. I had someone over this week that I've been dating, and she asked me what I was doing for my birthday. You know, oh, your birthday's this week, right? I'm like, yep. I'm gonna do nothing. I'm gonna be home alone. That's what I'm doing. Probably not doing anything. Like, I don't really want to go out and drink, and like the friend who lives nearby that I'd actually want to celebrate my birthday with, he's busy. He's got a lot going on. And man, I don't know. I haven't enjoyed being in the spotlight for a lot of my life. I got my first anxiety attack when I was 9 or 10, I think, playing soccer, maybe younger. I was playing defense, back left, I think. I don't remember. And the ball gets to me, and I'm running it forward right, I think, and I'm gonna pass it up off to my left, I think. I don't know, man. It's been 2 fucking decades. It's a blur. And people are cheering for me. And I just stop. And then around the same time in gym class, I have the same thing happen. I think it's dodgeball or something. And it comes down to the wire and people are looking at me and cheering for me, and rather than take a chance and fail at it, I just tag myself out. Early on, I caught on to this trick, and it's a shitty trick. If you don't ask, they can't say no, right? A lot of men, particularly, go to very dangerous places with that attitude. Yeah, man, for all I know, I could have become a much worse person with that attitude. Fortunately, I didn't, but you know, if I don't try, or I don't look like I'm trying, then people can't say that I failed. if you put on this attitude of I don't care, then like, ooh, you know, you're above it all. Ooh, wow. Golly. It's a very immature coping mechanism. It's a very immature front. I don't know. I'm not out here whining like, you know, I should have had more birthdays. I should have had parties. I should have had people celebrating me. I should. It's not really a question that enters into the equation, right? I didn't. And oftentimes it feels like I don't. And on anniversaries like this, you know, New Year's, birthdays, I spend a lot of time thinking about the past and thinking about the present and trying to soberly place who I am, where I am. And it's not always or often even a good feeling. You know, I love to spin it like, you know, I'm turning 30 and I'm excited for what comes next. Not really, man. I'm pretty indifferent. It's gonna be another fucking year. It's gonna be another fucking year in a hellscape of a planet that in so many ways feels like it's getting increasingly worse and worse and scarier and less safe and less caring. In small ways, you know, year after year, month after month, noticing not my body failing, but my body degrading, my health degrading. Teeth wearing down, joints popping or being sore, muscles taking longer to recover. Not having the same energy or enthusiasm, optimism, passion, maybe, that I had when I was younger. I've seen people I deeply respect turn 30 and talk about how they're so excited for this decade because they've talked to a lot of people and seen that a lot of people's best decade yet was their 30s. That, you know, the 20s were messy, but 30, you know, they finally started knowing what they were doing. And I don't really. I don't know what I'm doing. You know, I'm unemployed, looking for remote work again. I'm dating, but my heart's not in it. Now, the lack of an income has me pulling away a lot. You know, I'm not doing things that I want to. I'm not really enjoying life as much as I want to. I'm coping, and I'm trying to get through, and I'm trying to stretch, you know, my money so that I have next month's rent. Am I a better person than I was 10 years ago? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Entering into my 20s, I you know, had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I was depressed. Chasing love from coast to coast. And failing to cherish it, really failing to cherish the people who I loved. Getting so wrapped up in my depression and my anxiety and my fear and my malaise. You know, this attitude I so often have, being kind of closeted, introverted, not wanting to go out, being jaded easily. I let that destroy a lot of good relationships around them. Now, I was going to school for the sake of going to school, learning for the sake of learning, but not really with a direction. Now, I wasn't really working in a way to build anything for myself. To better myself, yeah, absolutely, but yeah. I mean, a year ago, I can't really say if I'm a better person than I was a year ago or 2 years ago even. I mean, so much time since really COVID started has felt like time has been on pause, but you know, vastly accelerated at the same time. I've noticed in a lot of small ways that I'm older than I used to be. And not always in ways that I'm comfortable with. Like in dating, especially dating younger people, especially younger women, noticing in them this kind of appreciation for daddy vibe kind of things that I don't like, and I don't want to be that to you. Like, I get the appeal of having like an older, mature, as if I am, figure. But I'm not that. I'm not. Maybe in comparison, but doesn't feel like it. Like the person I'm seeing right now, man, I feel so torn because I don't think I could fall in love. I don't really see things changing in the relationship. And that's fine and fun, but also I feel like it might just be a waste of her time. I'm very capable of falling head over heels for people. If you would ask me this time last year, I probably would have said, I don't really know. I'm really burnt out. I think I could fall head over heels for someone, but it's been a long time, and I have a lot of scar tissue, if you will. No, now I can absolutely say I can, and I have, and it's stupid. It's stupid. In typical Alex fashion, I fall for people who are thousands of miles away, and I don't know why I'm like this, but I'm like this. Well, truth be told, I haven't given local dating much of a chance since like November or October, whenever. December really put a bad taste in my mouth when I made it pretty clear that I didn't want to do things for the holidays, and I was really uncomfortable with that. And that kind of came to a head with one person I was dating, and I just I couldn't do it. I could not engage with the intensity of desire and enthusiasm that they wanted and they deserved, because I just wasn't feeling it. And like the person I'm seeing now, like, God, I can tell so badly they want me to like lean on them emotionally or confide in them or need them. But I don't. And I don't want to. I don't want to emotionally, romantically open up to this person because they're just not. It doesn't immediately click. There are people who it immediately clicks with. And I wish so much that so many of those people who I know and I love and I cherish lived closer. But they don't. I don't know. Maybe I would be having a better time with this birthday if I felt like I could celebrate. But again, I'm pinching pennies until I find work. But, you know, even if I did, I don't want to be extravagant. I don't want to do anything too crazy. I'm happy to be alive. I'm grateful to have experienced as much as I have, learned as much as I have. I'm hopeful that, God, maybe the next 10, 20, 30 years I can do something more. I'm gonna help more people, or at least keep more people company. Make the world a little less lonely or sad or difficult. I'm not aspiring to build monuments, lead revolutions, start movements, run for office. No, not really. I want a simple life and to care. Honestly, that's the truth of it. Yeah. Now I'm struggling a bit. Emotionally. With... Man, I feel really stagnant, and I'm having a hard time visualizing and planning for what I want. I know what I should do, but it's hard to want it, right? There are people I miss terribly. Couple that I've never even met. Not in person, anyway. And you know, those are my motivations. That's what I dream about so often. I don't dream about money and riches and fame. Last night I had a dream that I was getting an apartment somewhere, and maybe I was renting from my mom. She was there checking out the apartment. It was simple and old. And they've been refinished and updated over the decades a few times by a few owners. And you could see the seams of where like one pair of hands stopped and another started on working on this building. Like the frame around the window in the bedroom had obvious gaps around it, and it was, well over 100 years old. Like the stonework and the masonry were really cool and captivating. And what I was focused on with this place was thinking about sharing this space with people. Now, I have a hard time waking up in the morning, oftentimes, because I get to see people in dreams that I can't see. People that are thousands or tens of thousands of miles away. People I haven't seen in years. Relationships that have fallen into neglect and decay. It's not the same person, but I've done this since I was a teenager. Dreaming about people and hoping somehow that maybe they shared the dream with me, that maybe when I was dreaming about them, that they were dreaming about me. That silly, ridiculous, romantic fantasy. I wake up with a broken heart at least 3 days out of the week. After dreaming about a love I don't talk to anymore, or a friendship that will never be the same, or a home that I'll never know again. Yeah, it's not all bad, it's beautiful, but terrible too. I think what I want is to wake up and be happy. Be happy that the dream is over and that I have this instead. But even when I wake up from nightmares, there's a relief that the nightmare is over, but there's a exhausted recognition of what I've come back to. I think the last time that I was waking up excited was maybe when I first started dating Cora. I was so high on the endorphins of falling for someone. I was like walking in a fucking dream. When I moved to Seattle, I was so happy. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was so excited. My mother was visiting Northern California, Central California, this last week, and gave me an invitation to fly down and see her. Like, oh, you know, maybe leaving the city will do you some good. Like, no, thanks. One, I don't want to spend the money. Two, even if it weren't the money, like, I'm not unhappy here. I love this fucking city. I'm so proud of so many things about this area. Not everything, mind you, but a lot of things. I don't want to run away. I want to bring people here. I want my people to be here who aren't here, who I miss. And I understand why that's difficult. But it sucks. You know, when I was younger, I had this frustration that I still sometimes share, that I felt like I was always going to other people. That I moved to New York to get closer to somebody I loved. I gave this up, or went here, did that. I felt like I was always sticking my neck out and putting myself at risk for other people. And I felt disappointed that it wasn't reciprocated, and frustrated that I didn't feel that it was reciprocated. No, in truth, at times it was, and at times I really dropped the ball on that. Now, it really sucks when you have people in your life who are trying to reach out to you and being like, hey, I care. Hey, you're interesting. Hey, I want to get to know you better. Hey, like, I want you in my life. And your honest reaction to their enthusiasm is just like muted disinterest. It's awful. Yet they deserve happiness and enthusiasm and passion and love. And not being able to give that back to someone who's clearly trying to give it to you is just... it's such a sad feeling. Yeah. I don't really know. There wasn't a specific way I wanted to wrap this up, or any particular note I wanted to end on. I'm sad. And I'm kind of sitting with this sadness, and I've been sitting with this sadness, and not really sure what to do with it. Not yet. I'm hesitant to reach out to people because I feel like I've been kind of a piece of shit this last month. I've been really keeping to myself. I haven't had much social energy, it feels like, for a couple of months. And I'm really aware of that. And I'm embarrassed by that and frustrated by it. You know, financially, there's not a lot I can do for people right now, whether that just be like pay for coffee or whatever. I can, but like, I'm less comfortable or enthusiastic. I'm anxious about that. Less fun to be around. You know, a friend of mine, God, a week ago now, mentioned, we can just hop on Discord and chat once we both get home. I'm like, yeah, but I haven't been on Discord in like 4 or 5 months. I hate Discord. I hate all the fucking notifications. I just hate the noise. I want it to feel like it's not pulling teeth to make even the smallest hangout happen, but it can really feel like it. No, I'm not in crisis. I'm not. I know what that is. I know what it feels like, and this ain't it. Is it just discomfort? Malaise? Quiet? fear and anxiety and anticipation and worry. In the same way that if you know no one's going to throw you a party, you don't hope for a surprise party. If you let yourself believe that no one's going to hire you, or you aren't going to find a job that you really like, then you're not disappointed when it doesn't happen. If you convince yourself that you're being ridiculous in developing a crush or strong feelings for someone, if you convince yourself that you're just being overly attached or too intense or whatever, and there is a line, mind you, there is a fucking line. Sometimes, you know, especially when you're younger, it can be hard to figure out what that line is, but like, there is a line. So you just deny yourself that relationship at all, or that chance at that relationship. Oh yeah, that's really where I'm at. I'm at I just want to keep my head down and coast and be okay and be safe and like sorta be comfortable, but it's not really comfortable. It's really uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable, and it's really not good for me. It's really not healthy. It's just a slow, steady, controlled decline. It's not great. It's not great. No, I'm trying to think back to, 19 going on 20. I can't really. Was that 2011, 2012? It'd be 2012. Right, because it's 2022 now. No, that was a year before. I was in Arizona still. Or just about to leave Arizona for New York. Or Indiana. That wasn't a great time. I wasn't thinking about my future at all. Man, yeah, I've learned a hell of a lot and grown a hell of a lot since then. I write less poetry than I used to back then, which is a shame, but I don't think my poetry then or now was particularly good, though people tend to disagree, so maybe it's stupid and selfish of me to be so self-effacing about it. I used to get drunk and write poetry and text people I liked poetry. I used to do it a lot. I wish I wrote more these days, but I don't know what to write about, and it can feel very egocentric to do sometimes. Like, who gives a shit what I have to write? But like, who gives a shit what I have to say? And yet I would love to find this month a good remote work job that's a great fit for me. I'd love to talk more to the people I care about, the person I'm crushing on. I'd like to clean more. I'd like to get out more. I'd like to appreciate the spring while it's still in bloom. Big plans, I know, but I don't want to travel anywhere. I don't want anything big. I just want quiet happiness. I just want things to be okay. And they're not gonna be. This is gonna be, at best, a financially tenuous month for me. At worst, a scary month for me. I'm probably not gonna talk much to the people I want to, just because, I don't know, I'm pessimistic. Pandemic's not getting much better. Economy's not getting much better. The inflationary crisis and the impending food pricing and food availability shortage. I could have just said food shortage. That's gonna come later this year. That's still incoming. Man, it's just a constant fucking sea of clouds. I'm so pessimistic. I don't want to be, but I really am right now. And maybe it's a way that I'm trying to protect myself by trying to anticipate trouble before it comes to soften the blow. But if you're precluding the idea of happiness, if you're precluding the idea of hope, if you're precluding the possibility that things will be better, then you never really give yourself the opportunity. You never really take the chance. You never put yourself out there. And so, of course, it never happens. And this is a lesson I understand intellectually. But it's a lesson that I have really struggled, and I think has met with mixed success in implementing in my life. I want to be less afraid this decade. I want to take more reasonable risks into hope, the dream, and to not try to protect myself from disappointment by not playing the game. Yeah. It hasn't quite been an hour, but I don't know. Not everything has to have a smooth, easy, exact ending, you know? I'm gonna get up on out of here. I'm going to, man, I don't know. Open a window, make some tea. I really have no idea what the fuck I'm getting up to today. Twiddle my thumbs, die inside. No, probably not. I'll find something to get excited about. It's just not taking it. Until later. Whenever that might be. I'm gonna say toodaloo, take care, I'll see you then. Bye-bye.